Welcome to the view from Diamond Towers. In this video, a charity shop book haul. I've been wondering what sort of video I should do, what genre of video I should do to start my illustrious YouTube career with. And then I thought a haul video. Everyone likes haul videos, don't they? You show me your stuff, I'll show you mine. Last time I was in the great border city of Carlisle, I made a trip to the charity shops because I love nebbing about the charity shops. I was chatting to my friend Becca about what you might call the consumer ethics of charity shops. And I was saying to her, like, even if you get a book that's rubbish or a record that's unplayable, it doesn't really matter because you can write it off as a charitable donation. No different to sticking a couple of quid in a Ratley tin or whatever. And also, if you happen to buy a book by someone you would consider an enemy, for example, I've got a whole shelf I call my mumbo jumbo shelf, which is full of like books by like conspiracy theorists and creationists and whatnot, which I have under the know your enemy principle. But if you buy it from a charity shop, the money goes to the charity and not to the person in question, so it assuages the guilt. So if an author you happen to like turns out to be a raging sex monster or something, Neil Gaiman, I'm looking at you, it assuages the guilt of buying a Neil Gaiman book, for example. There's two charity shops next to the bus station, which is nice and convenient because you get off the bus from Longtown and you're straight into, there's one which is an old arcade, and I went in there, and I saw this, Ian McEwan, First Love, Last Rites, which is McEwan's debut collection of short stories. Now I haven't read this, and I had a copy of it, which I'd had since I think the early 90s. Had like a red design on the cover. But then a couple of years ago, I was suddenly noticed it wasn't with the rest of my McEwan books. But I don't, for the life of me, know what happened to it. I don't know whether I lent it to someone, whether my ex got it in the divorce or what. It just wasn't there. So when I saw this, it was £1. I thought, doesn't looks unread. It's £1. I'll get it to replace that edition. I don't remember much about the stories themselves. I remember them being dark and pervy, but apart from that, I don't remember much about it. So I was thinking, well, I can get that and give it a reread. But anyway, I took it to the counter and I realised I didn't have any change on me, and I said, I haven't got any cash on me. Can I put that on my card? And she says, it's a minimum of £2 to put it on your card. Go back and get another one. So of course I had to go back and get another book. But I'm glad I did go back, because when I went back I saw this, Mark Commode's The Good, the Bad and the Multiplex. Mark Commode's, if you don't know him, he's a British film critic. Now he's someone who's just been around forever. He always seems to have been there. I know him mainly as a talking head in kind of documentaries, and as a reviewer. He reviews with Simon Mayo. He reviews films. He used to do it for BBC Radio, but now they do it on their own. And I've been watching their film reviews religiously. I really like Mark Kermode. I don't always agree with him, but I do really like him. He's very good, especially on horror. He's very good. And I have read some of his reviews, but I haven't read him on the page, so I don't know what his books are like. But that was £1 as well. So I thought, I'll give that a go. And then I went round the corner. There's another charity shop. I went in there, and I saw this. Can you make that out? Written in History, Letters That Changed the World, Simon Sebag Montefiore. I love Sebag. He's one of my favourite historians. And I thought, that looks interesting. An anthology of historically important letters, edited with introductions by him. So I went up and I said, there's no price on it. How much is that? She went, 50p. I thought, oh, great, 50p, great. I says, I don't have any cash. I'll go around the corner and I'll get some cash out. And then the woman went, get another book and then it'd be £1 and you could put it on your card. So of course I had to get another book. So I went back and I looked, and there wasn't much else that interested me. But I saw this and I thought, okay. Now, with the cover, I'm breaking one of my cardinal rules, which is I tend to avoid film and TV cover tie-ins. I really don't like them for some reason. So if I can get it without, I do. But I saw this. Alexander Dumas, The Three Musketeers. I thought I had a copy. I got home and I checked. I don't have a copy, so I didn't actually waste my time. It says it's a new translation. The only thing I remember or understand or know about this comes entirely from my childhood memories of the cartoon D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers, where it was like dogs or something. So I should definitely get that read at some point. Right, yeah, so there's another charity shop which is opposite the cathedral. Big, open, spacious thing. And in there, all the books are £1. So, of course, I went in there and I was like, fill my boots. First thing I got is a celebrity memoir. Again, celebrity memoirs are things I tend to avoid. However, this is a celebrity memoir by the outrageous and flamboyant homosexual pianist and singer Elton John. And I thought to myself, I haven't read any reviews of this. I don't know whether it's good, but it's not going to be boring, is it? It's Elton John. I mean, this is a man who, remember, took so much cocaine in the 1980s that he accidentally married a woman. So, yeah, I thought I'll take that for £1. A couple of novels next. This I picked up because it's a nice hardback first edition. Umberto Eco, Foucault's Pendulum. Bit sun-bleached, the thing, but you know, I thought for £1, a nice hardback first edition. I've become interested in Eco recently because my friend, the poet Owen Lewis, has become a very passionate advocate for The Name of the Rose. And he's like, you'll be right into it, Dave. It's all that medieval shit, monks and the Bible and stuff. So he's been pressing that on me. So I'm going to read that first. And then if I feel brave enough to tackle this, because as far as I understand, this one's all about conspiracies and stuff, and it's quite head-battering and that. So yeah, anyway. This one's a piece of contemporary fiction. Again, I'm not a huge reader of contemporary fiction, and this is a Booker Prize winner, and it's not the kind of thing now and again I'll pick one up and think, oh. But anyway, this one interested me because of where it's set. This is Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stewart from won the 2020 Booker Prize. And the reason I was interested is because it's a Glasgow set novel, and I absolutely love Glasgow. It's one of my favourite places on earth. It's great. It's a hard, tough city, but the people are amazing. They really are. Yeah, I love Glasgow, so I'll definitely give that a go at some point. And then, yeah, some history. Now, I was attracted to this. I was attracted to this by the sheer girth of this one. This is N.A.M. Roger, The Command of the Ocean. Look at that great big thing, and it is a naval history of Britain. 1649 to 1815. And I thought, wow, that sounds interesting. Now, that is not the kind of book I'm just going to like blithely dive into. But it's going to come up at some point. There are things in it which I'll, as with a lot of my history books, there'll be a certain thing I'm studying and diving down into, and there'll be chapters all over the library that I have to pull out and get into, and I've no doubt this will be one of those. Naval history is not something I know much, if at all, about, and I thought, wow, it's good to have at least something there to go with. Although I did notice when I got it home, on the back it says also available, The Safeguard of the Sea, A Naval History of Britain 660 to 1649. I thought, well, I'm going to have to get that now, aren't I? And I'll have two of the bloody things. And then did a bit more research. This is the middle part of a trilogy. So there's actually 3 of these monsters out there in the wild somewhere. So yeah, I'll have a see if I can track them down as well. Yeah, the next one, Faber and Faber do a series of anthologies, which are, when I seen them, I picked them up. I've got a few of them. I've got the Faber Book of Science, the Faber Book of Madness, the Faber Book of Seductions. That's a good one. And I saw this one. I thought, wow, I'm gonna have to have that as well, aren't I? This is the Faber Book of Church and Clergy, edited by the kind of pompous, buttoned-up public school snoot historian A.N. Wilson, who is a great historian, but I like to argue with him. He's one of those. I've got his book Victorians, which is great, but I read the chapter about Darwin. I was like, wrong! Oh, that's fucking wrong. But anyway, I thought that would be interesting. They're collections of like poems and letters and speeches and writings of various sorts on the subject. Finally, I've bored you long enough. This one is the ugliest edition. They're all nice big hardbacks and that, or paperbacks. This is not a nice edition, and I think it's because it's like a print on demand book. Can you make that out? It says printed in Great Britain by Amazon. So even though this is a proper history book, it was originally on Oxford. I guess it's not in print now, and you have to get them to print it on demand. And it's kind of ugly, and it's got. I don't know if you can probably see from that. I don't know if you can make that out, but the writing is absolutely tiny. Okay, but in terms of subject matter, this to me was the find of the whole adventure. This is The Stations of the Sun, A History of the Ritual Year in Britain by Ronald Hutton. Okay, so it's a history of all the rituals, where they come from, their Christian, pagan roots, and so on, etc. I'll just get to the contents page, and so you've got Christmas, you've got, what have we got? Valentine's, Easter, Halloween. Yeah, so it's where all the sort of ritual stuff we do in Britain comes from. Not only is that fascinating in and of itself, I thought, oh, that's great, because every time you get a festival, a celebration come up, you get all these like smart asses on social media putting up memes. Actually, that thing you think it is, that's actually some pagan god called whatever. And half the time, the connections are tenuous at best. 99% of what people think of as like pagan and Celtic and all that sort of stuff was basically made up in the 19th century. So a lot of those traditions don't actually go back any farther than that. Some do, of course. Some parts of them do, of course. But a lot of them don't. And so it is good to have a historian to pass those distinctions, so to speak. But yeah, that was my haul. All that lot for less than a tenner. Can't be bad. I'll see you in the next one.